Hi, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Stevie.
And welcome to the Unhinged Smut Book Club podcast.
Hey, this is a book podcast.
How do you think liberal women keep getting made? They have conservative dads.
Yeah, who they have to pick a fight with.
Yeah, to be cringe is to be free.
Exactly. And I won't apologize for that.
I cringe, therefore I am. I hate a neutral ass bitch.
National treasure?
Yeah.
Am I into freeze?
Don't fucking come near me with an Aperol spritz.
Do not. Propaganda I won't fall for.
Aperol spritzes.
We discuss the most unhinged smut that the publishing world has to offer.
It's a book club, but for sluts.
And today we're doing our June reading wrap-up.
June reading wrap-up.
Yeah. Exciting. I think we're actually like pretty similar in how many books we have.
I didn't peek at yours.
Because I just did it. I think I have 4 books. You have 3?
Yeah, I did mine last night, so you're not like well ahead of me.
I fully used your format. Anyways.
I just copy the month previous and then just plug in the new books.
There you go. That's
all I do, and rename it. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here.
Right.
But if I don't have something prepared, I sit here and go, and I don't like that. That's annoying to edit for both of us.
Fair enough. And you're very good at like remembering off the cuff what happened in books, and I'll be like, okay, I wrote the title and how I rated it. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. Here's some themes, but you're like, give a good plot description. I'm like, let me actually think through, because I am so the type where like I read it, I close it, and I'm like, exit out of my brain, delete file. Never happened. Just a vague, oh, I enjoyed that, or oh, I didn't. Yeah, so that's not great when you're a podcast where you talk about books.
No.
I'm gonna have to close that window. It's very loud.
Think? Yeah, why not?
It's a bit noisy.
The wind is blowing. Let's get into the books we've read. Okay, I finished 3 books this month.
I finished 4.
Wow, do you want to kick us off?
Because you have... do our one in common.
Oh, that's right. We did have one in common, which was Pounded by Produce by G.M. Barrie.
Which that episode is out. That was out last...
as of today, today's the 26th of June. That one will be out this weekend, Sunday the 29th.
Ah, perfect.
Yes.
But when this episode airs, it will be... the Pounded by Produce episode will be a week old.
Yes.
So we don't need to talk about it enough because you heard all our thoughts. But we love G.M. Barrie.
Yeah. I enjoyed the book.
Know.
You didn't enjoy the book as much.
It wasn't my favorite.
That's okay. I thought generally smutty good time.
Yeah. And turns out priest kink.
Not for you.
Not my cup of tea. Just not for me. But now I keep getting fucking Fleabag clips on my TikTok.
I would like to fuck a priest.
And I'm like, am I into priests? Do I need to revisit this? Give it the old college try?
I don't think so. Suddenly, you're throwing the priest collar at Mr. Stevie, being like, put this on.
Oh my God.
He would not.
He would never.
He would commit you. He'd be like, we need to go to church right now.
He'd be like, I have to draw the line somewhere, Steve. It's just, no, you're done. You're done. But besides that, totally pivoting, I read a book that's been on my TBR for a while. I got it. Libby had like a super sale. And so I was just scrolling, found this book. And it's called The Secret History of the Rape Kit by Pagan Kennedy.
Oh.
Really good. Fascinating. It's pretty short for a nonfiction, so that's nice because I only have so much attention span. But it tells the story of the woman whose name was Marty Goddard, who actually came up with the idea of the rape kit. The rape kit, she, I don't want to say collaborated with a Chicago police officer, but she was an advocate in the area of like women's rights, and it's particularly around sexual assault for like ever. She was very us, where she had a very conservative dad who she just like screamed at all the time. And
How do you think liberal women keep getting made? They have conservative dads.
yeah, who they have to pick a fight with.
It's the conservative dad to liberal daughter pipeline.
100%. And so she was very, this was the era of like bra burnings, you know? And
Yes.
she was very like, I know to reach the people who are already in power, who can implement change, I have to present a certain way. I have to like shake hands with people who I'd rather punch in the face. You know what I mean? So she was a lot more like, okay, what do I want the outcome to be? How can I realistically get to that outcome, rather than like, it's bullshit that I have to do this. She just put her pride aside.
She's like, I have to play the game if I want to win.
Exactly. And she like, so the cop she gave the entire idea to, he didn't come up with fuck all. His name is attached to the rape kit. Anyways. So, but she like didn't care. Like she's like, I want this to be out there.
It's more important to me that this gets produced than whose name is on it.
Exactly. So she's just a bad bitch. And she did she traveled all the time doing trainings for like hospital staff, and like got, created systems and pathways for police and hospital staff to collaborate more effectively, and making sure that evidence was actually stored properly and processed correctly. And it's still imperfect, but like it went from like there not being any fucking system at all to something because of this woman. And she's rad as hell. And her story's quite sad because the author's writing this and is trying to find her, and just like even her family completely lost contact with her, and she like really descended into alcoholism and all it got, because I mean she's working in like a dark field.
Absolutely.
And went through some dark shit herself. And so it's a bit of a tragic tale, but it definitely, it's satisfying reading this book and being like, oh, we're giving credit where credit's due finally.
Yeah.
Like her name should be known, and like we should pay homage to this person. And it's a really good book. And the book is by Peyton Kennedy, but the woman is Marty Goddard. I'm just going to say her name again.
And it was called History of the Rape Kit?
The Secret History of the Rape Kit.
How many stars did you give it?
I gave it 5 stars. It was really good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love that.
What did you read?
I read not that. Not that. For our community book club, we read Keeper of Enchanted Rooms by Charlie Ann Holmberg. You did not read this one.
I did not.
That's okay. It was cutesy. I gave it 3.5 stars. The idea is this man inherits a house when his grandmother dies. Turns out the house is magically haunted. And so he like shows up to this house on this island in the middle of bumfuck Rhode Island. And he's like, great, I now have a house. He's a writer. And he's like, this will make my life so much easier because my landlord's trying to kick me out to move his son in, who's going to go to college. And he gets into the house, and basically the house holds him hostage. And the house won't let him out. The house randomly turns the stairs into a slide. He
It's like
thinks
poltergeisty, but like silly goofy a little bit.
Yes, he thinks that the house is raining blood at one point, but only in one room. When he goes into the library, it's like flinging books across the room at him, like trying to hit him. The lights flicker in certain places. And there are magical... The book is called The Keeper of Enchanted Rooms. So it goes on, and it is known that there are more magical houses around the world. And there are these institutions that are working at basically preserving these magical houses. And there is a society within this world of people who have magic, but the magic in the blood has been so diluted to this point that most people don't have incredibly strong magic. It's set in Victorian era time, like the late 1800s, mid to late 1800s. And this man has this haunted house, and this woman comes from the Boston Institute Keeping of Enchanted Rooms, I guess. Yeah, that I think is what the acronym is. So there's Biker. She comes from Biker to basically be his magical housekeeper, to figure out what the magic source of the house is. and to basically get the house to behave and help him hire staff to maintain the magic in the house, other magic users. And the house would be kind of like self-sufficient and self-running at that point once they can figure out the magic and work with the magic. The house is my favorite character in this entire book.
Fun.
You figure out really quickly that the house is being haunted by the spirit of a family member that once lived in the house, and he's like a 12-year-old boy. And he put basically his magical spirit into the house, and he can only like haunt one room at a time, but they figure he's trying to impress them. He's been alone for hundreds of years because he put himself in the house. And at one point, why can I not remember the male main character's name? I cannot remember his name. He wants to exorcise the spirit out of the house, basically. But then when he realizes it is a 12-year-old boy, he discovers like the headstone wasn't buried next to the sisters. And like there was no record of him. And as he figures it out of like it's the soul of a 12-year-old boy who's lonely, who lost his family. He's just trying to impress. And he just wants company. He's like, he stays, like, we're not going to exorcise him out. So that's like the cutesy part of it. This is book 1 of 4 books. I did not go on to read the rest of the books, not because I didn't want to, but just because
it's not your typical go-to.
It's not my typical go-to. It's like a cozy kind of mystery. So there is some intrigue. There is some tension. There is some like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit kind of situation. There's a bad guy. There's a villain. There's an arc. There's betrayal. So I think it has a really well-rounded kind of story. The reason I did not go on to read the other books is because I truly don't feel like we really needed to expand the story into 3 more stories because it focuses on other characters. Like the boy who's in the house gets his own book. And when we discussed it at book club, one of the women had said, he's less compelling once he's not a house anymore. Like when, as a character, he's less compelling when he's not a house. But there were some really fun similarities that we drew, and I can't think of the actual grammatical word for it right now, of like what you would call this device. But people have, in magic, in fantasy, magic isn't free. Magic always comes with a cost. So there are the 9 houses of magic. There might be 12. But there are the different houses of magic. So there's divination, there's shape-shifting, controlling the elements, there's chaos, like you can literally like be chaos. And so those are the magical bloodlines and the magic that people will possess. Through history, there's been an attempt to preserve the magical bloodlines by like doing arranged marriages in the hopes that you would create a more powerful magic user. So then the magic is more powerful and we can continue to like grow the magic. But the magic is completely random. Hilda, who is the female main character, her magical dilution in her blood is about 12%. The average person is 8%. And while both of her parents were magic users, her sister has no magic. So it just is random. But you will inherit magic that is within your bloodline. So that's also by pairing up people of different magical bloodlines in the hopes of like creating stronger magical lines in other places. So everybody has different magic. There is a cost to using magic. So when you control water to like wick the water away from you, you yourself become dehydrated. When you create chaos, you yourself suffer from confusion. So there's little things like that where all magic has a price. And we had a really interesting conversation because people can take an object and they can imbue a spell into it, like a ward stone. So like somebody can take their warding magic and put it in a stone, and then you're not protected from, like you can carry it with you. There's commune stones where you can use them as like walkie-talkies, basically. And every time Hilda hands a magical object over to a non-magic user, she's like, be careful, this was very expensive. And one of the women in book club likened it to this idea of treating things with respect and it being a comparison of this world that we live in where things are like mass produced and we're not considering like where things came from anymore, and like we're making things very cheaply and we just kind of trash them. But I thought it was interesting to also compare it to the work of artists, and like artists will sacrifice themselves to create, and people don't always put as much respect on it as they should, and they like give so much of themselves, and it's exhausting, and it's commentary on the price of art, that like people are not always willing to pay what an artist values their work at.
It even makes me think of like when my husband has to buy something expensive or whatever, he'll think about like if he breaks his salary down into an hourly wage, he'll be like, this is costing me 2 days. And of like, it's not just expensive. Like the expense is money, but the money comes from my time, like my literal life. Yeah. And it's kind of what it made me think of.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting way of looking at it. And I don't know if that's what she was going for.
Yeah.
But an interesting way of looking at like all magic comes at a price, and magic should be treated very expensively because it is, not only is it coming at a price to someone who's imbuing their magic into an object, but also their time of creating that, they're using up their magic, they're paying the ultimate price for it. And magic is a finite resource in this world. So you're also consuming finite resources where they could be used in other things. And I think artists and authors have this conversation amongst themselves quite a bit of, do you remember that TikTok sound? It costs that much because it takes me fucking hours. I think it's that kind of conversation of like, there needs to be put respect on what people are creating, because not only is it the materials and like the cost of like creating, but it is the time that they put into it as well, and the concept of time. So yeah, I think there were a lot of conclusions and commentaries and things that you could draw on societal issues from this book. So it was a very interesting read in a lot of ways. It was cutesy. There's a romance subplot.
So it's kind of like you can read it as a light, fluffy, comfy mystery, or you can dive into it. It's kind of however deep you want to take it.
So it does leave it a little bit open to go into the second book. All of the books are connected. I just was not compelled to like, I'm fine leaving this here.
When things are kind of standalone, like you're going to get a different story completely, you like really have to get me into the world.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just like, oh no, that was a good story. I started it. I finished it. Okay. Yeah.
I started it, finished it. Okay. So I gave that one 3.5 stars.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't regret reading it, but I also am not going to go on to read the rest of them, I think. Okay, tell me a book you read.
The next book I read was When Devils Sing by, I believe, Zan Kaur, Zankaur.
Yeah, we can go with that.
I'm going with that. I believe it's she. Has been on TikTok advertising this book coming out, and it's the way she described it was a book about how it's like a Southern Gothic. I wouldn't call it a horror. It is a little horror at parts, but it's not like scary.
So like thriller.
If it was a movie, it would be a bit bloody. There's human sacrifice. So it's not like The Ring where you're like afraid to go to sleep at night. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But it's dark, I guess.
Dark.
Yeah.
Gruesome.
Dark Southern Gothic book about how the wealthy basically feed off the poor. And I was like, oh,
give me that.
My family's Southern. I love a mystery. I love it to be a little witchy, magical realism. Eat it up.
Yep.
And I didn't love it.
Oh, no.
I was so sad. I gave it 2 stars. I'll get into there were aspects of it that I loved, and I will say the writing, like the actual writing, fantastic. But like I love the concept and the symbolism, the writing itself, but the pacing was so slow.
Oh, pacing's really important, especially in a Gothic book.
Yeah, and especially like a mystery scary situation.
Yeah.
The pacing was really slow, and there's other books I've read where like slow pacing felt like an artistic choice. This didn't feel like that.
We've talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
But I think when you're talking about a thriller and a mystery, medium to quick pacing is incredibly important because it sets, that's the artistic choice. It sets the person up for the anxiety, for the worry, for the thriller. You get, I think you get your reader more involved when you pick the pace up a little bit, because then the person's like, what's going to happen next? And they're just as worried as the main character is in the book.
And it was told from like 4 different perspectives. So I think the fact that we're jumping around made it slower.
That can happen.
And so I think that was probably the main issue. So it's 4 different people who end up kind of converging to like address this issue, but they're each learning individually for a long time. And so you're just like, oh my God, fucking tell me what happens. And then the ending wasn't super satisfying. It was one of those where the epilogue was like a couple months later. And I'm like, no, it should have been like a few years later to like really see how things were resolved. I think if the epilogue had been farther out and gave more definitive, like these were the consequences for the bad people, I would have upped this to 3 stars.
Okay.
That like kind of pissed me off at the end.
I hate when an epilogue does not sell it, when an epilogue does not tie the bow on it for me. Because I want to feel satisfied. Right? If through, for example, a romance, we're talking about like, I can see myself with this person forever. One day I want to have a family with this person. If there was a side character with a wedding, I want to see that stuff that you mentioned come to fruition. Yeah. Of like, we're engaged now and I'm pregnant and my best friend is getting, like, I want to see this stuff tied up. Yeah. I don't want to be wondering like, did this couple actually make it past the happily ever after? Because
so it compares like how the wealthy feed off of the poor, basically, like by comparing it to literal human sacrifice. It takes place in this small town in Georgia where there's like a super drastic class divide, and the wealthy live around this lake. And every 13 years, there's this brood of cicadas that comes out, and they make it like a big festival. Coincidentally, every 13 years when all these cicadas come out,
people go missing.
This year, one boy goes missing, and his friends end up trying to find him, but they're not all mutual friends. It's not a friend group. They like know him separately or have ties to him separately. Okay. And that's how they end up converging to uncover like what happened to him, and then they're uncovering like the secret underbelly of this town. And so it is interesting because like 2 of the people are quite poor. One person, his family, he's like one of the only Black families in the town, and his family is like, they have a farm. They're not wealthy though, but his dad was able, like, class mobility, became a lawyer or a judge, and is like now super wealthy and trying to rub elbows with the wealthy people. And then one kid is from one of the wealthy families. So it gives a really good perspective on like how the capitalism of it all, like the class divide of it all, impacts everybody negatively in a way. And so that was interesting, seeing that through different lenses. And I think she's comparing this town to Lake Lanier, which is, I believe, in Georgia, but it's a man-made lake that is over what was once a thriving Black town. Yes. And it's notoriously haunted. People go missing there all the time. Right. And so I think that might have been the inspiration. But I was like, ooh, from Mama's Spooky Podcast, I know things. I see what you did there. I've definitely seen reviews for this kind of a lot across the spectrum. Like some people were like, I fucking loved this. And other people were more like me, of like, this didn't hit what I needed it to hit. So I wouldn't say don't read it. I wouldn't not recommend it, but it just didn't do what I needed it to do.
That's fine. That happens. Okay.
But it might be her first publication.
Her debut novel.
And her writing is very well written. There's just those 2 critiques.
Author of 1 book. This was her debut novel.
Yeah. So for a debut author, fantastic. I will say that. I would read other works by her as she continues to grow as an author.
Yeah. Just maybe something different.
I definitely think this could be her niche for sure, because the darkness of it, the kind of
The concept and
semi-magic of it.
Yeah.
Like, the symbolism was, like, so, not smooth. What's the word I'm looking? Not well done. You know how sometimes people write something symbolically and you're like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. But, like, this one was like, oh, no, this was, like, just very well done. I don't know. Hard to say. There's a lot I could compliment it
Listen,
on.
between your applesauce pregnancy brain and my ADHD and dyslexia, us trying to find words.
We're thriving. Thriving.
So good. Somebody listening to this right now is like in their car on the way to work and just like screaming into their steering wheel for the word that you're looking for right
Absolutely. It's fine. You know what I mean, okay? 2 stars, but I don't not recommend it, and I am intrigued to see what she writes in the future. So
Good. All right. I finished For Whom the Bell Tolls by J.C. Lynn. This book is a thickums. This is a debut novel. J.C. found TikTok fame by creating an internet series where she is somebody who works at the help desk in Hell. HELLP, the help desk. And it's like, I had no clue who she was. But basically people like get down to hell and she's like, welcome to the help desk. How can I help you? And people are acting like absolute fucking Karens. And she's like, no, well, actually, you were a narcissist who gave your daughter a ton of body issues. So level 1 for you. Goodbye. I'd never seen any of her stuff before. I think she called it like Hell's Bells. And so that is the series of books, or like the title of these series. So For Whom the Bell Tolls is book 1 in the Hell's Bells series. It came out in December. She indie published it and it got picked up for traditional publishing and it's been re-released, and the audiobook came out in April, and blah, 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 blah. I gave this book 3.5 stars. It is cute, but it is long. And I feel like it is too long and stuff wraps up and some things felt unnecessary. So let's get into it. Basically, the female main character of this book in the very first chapter gets diagnosed with terminal cancer. She knows she's going to die. She's 32 or 33 years old. She's opting to forego treatment because it has gotten to the point where her doctor's like, it's terminal. You're not going to survive this. We can prolong, but we cannot cure. So she said, I'm not going to do that. And also I can't afford to do that. And she had, it goes on later in the book to say like she had been going to the doctor for things, but it had gotten expensive or her insurance wouldn't cover something. And it perhaps could have been caught earlier. And she would not have died had insurance not been what insurance is. So anyway, her whole life had grown up in a very religious household, but as she got to a teenager, she started to question things and was told over and over again by her church, by her family, her parents, you're going to hell. You act like this, you're going to hell. So then wouldn't you believe when she gets to the afterlife and finds out there's so many different judgment systems. It's like if every religion was correct, basically, and every religion has its own judgment system. And for Christianity specifically has like an overarching judgment system that kind of factors in all of the different branches of Christianity. So that way people who do like fundamentalist LDS people aren't getting away with shit and still going to like their paradise afterwards for all the bad shit that they did because it's what their religion was. Or you can choose universal judgment, like were you a good person or not. The universe will judge you accordingly and you'll go to paradise if you were. If not, you'll go to some type of punishment realm based off of your belief system. So she shows up at the afterlife. She's sitting at this like information desk, like a DMV. And the person who's helping her at the desk asks her if she wants company to walk her to the judgment gate to go through for judgment. And while Zita is walking with her, Lily is her name, they run into these demons, very tall, different colored skin, horns, tails. Think of a demon, my brain is picturing Hellboy and Hellboy-like characters over and over again. But they have a stack of papers in the elevator. Zeta is like, whoa, you guys look really busy. You're not usually up here. And they're like, oh, yeah, somebody fucked up something. And now it's been chaos all day long. And people are being such fucking assholes. And Lily chimes in. She's like, oh, it sounds like customer service is the same even in the afterlife. And they jokingly talk very quickly about exchanging like customer service hell stories. And the demon name starts with an M and I can't remember it right now. Anyway, the demon is like, after your judgment, if you get into a paradise, come find us in hell and we'll have a glass of wine and we'll exchange war stories of customer service, basically. And eventually that's the author. Eventually Lily gets down there. She gets into her paradise. She goes exploring the different realms. You can explore any of the realms. So you can go to Valhalla. You can go to heaven. You can go to, what are some other afterlives that you know of?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure. You can go to any
Enlightenment, I guess.
Sure. You can go to any afterlife, any realm, any of their punishment realms as well, too. If you wind up finding a realm that you like more, you can arrange to move into that realm as well, if you like it. Like a neighborhood, basically.
Cool.
So she goes into hell. She finds her demon friends and is like, let's have that drink. And then she notices that people have been sent to hell and they are upset about it. And so they are coming up to these demons who are just there to guide people through the gates to their own level of hell that they've been assigned to. And people are being total fucking dicks to them. Absolute Karens of like, I'm not supposed to be here. I was a good Christian woman and blah, blah, blah. So Lily's like, do you guys have like a chair and like a piece of cardboard and a marker? And she writes down help desk, HELLP desk. And she sits down and is basically like, here's the difference between what I did in the reality, in the mortal realm, in my waking life, and what I can do here. And I can be a dick back to these people. So she basically is telling people to shut the fuck up and get out of here. Like, you did what you did, shut the fuck up, get out of here. And the aura of hell basically is like, yeah, this is a good one. And she starts to be able to access their soul files so she can see exactly what these people did. Once she's done touching the soul file, the memories are basically lost to her, but she can see exactly what these people did. And so then she uses that as ammunition to be like, oh no, so what you're saying is like, you actually didn't kick puppies? And they're like, no, well, I did, but that, you know, I gave a lot of money to the church. And she's like, oh yeah, no, still, like, you can't kick puppies no matter how much money you give to Jesus. So level 3 you go. And hell is meant to be a reform system. So you can work your way up through, like, your punishments is meant to be reform. And then you can try again in your next life, do reincarnation, maybe you'll get to heaven after that. You can get to your paradise. So Lily becomes a permanent fixture in hell, basically serving out justice, customer service style. It's every customer service worker's ultimate dream, basically. She gets to take a bat to some of these people, like really, truly terrible people, and like just beat them to a pulp.
Fun.
And then they get to go down to level 9 of hell for all of the bad things that they did. She winds up making friends with a bunch of demons. There's a lot of nerd references. There's a lot of nerd culture. And there are some things that are just like cringy millennial phrases. It does turn into a love story where she meets a guy, demon guy, in like an online game. And he calls her nerd wife because they have like similar jokes. And eventually they meet. And their love story is really, really sweet.
Oh.
It is a fun book. It is very entertaining. The parts where, how long have I been talking about this book now? I've only gotten through like the first 15% of it.
Wow.
Telling you all of this. So it's a long book. It's over 700 pages.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And it is a fantasy romance book. Belle, the prince of hell that she winds up dating, they go from friends to lovers, which is a really thoughtful, everything was very thoughtfully written, I feel like some things were written too much. Bel is a prince of hell. He's a general of 86 legions. And they go to war with, like, alien realms, basically.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of just like this made-up thing. They haven't had to go to war in thousands of years, but, you know, the aliens have been, like, probing a little bit more, and there have been some skirmishes. There winds up being, like, this full battle. There's a full war where he's gone for months. Nobody knows if he's coming back or not, and people die, and it's very emotional. I feel like there were too many things in this book that got all put together. She winds up adopting a small little baby soul that comes to hell, like a 4-year-old. And she, because the system of judgment trusts her, she gets to see that little girl's soul file, and, like, terrible things were done to that little girl.
Ow.
And she was 8. That's how old she was. 8 years old, and she snuck out of the house of her foster house to go to the aquarium for her 8th birthday, and she got hit by a car, and that's how she wound up dead. And she was like, no, but I have to go to hell. My foster mom and my pastor tell me all the time I'm gonna go to hell. I'm gonna go to hell. And so Lily introduces this little girl who they wind up calling Sharky, because she's in, like, a shark onesie and she's obsessed with sharks, and she's like, you can call yourself whatever you want while you're here. So she's like, what about Sharky? So Lily literally takes Sharky to meet Lucifer and, like, sit down and have a conversation with Lucifer. And Lily winds up, like, fostering and, like, adopting Sharky.
There's a lot of plot lines.
There's
happening.
So many plot lines, Stevie.
Yeah,
There's
you definitely
so
could have,
much.
like, built the world, added a romance aspect.
Yeah.
Like, this could have been a series.
Well, so it's meant to be. And I'm like, fuck, if every book is this long.
And not convoluted, but, like,
If there's so many plot lines. Yeah. It is well written. I will say that. It is not.
It sounds really fucking cute.
It's really cute. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It just took me a week to get through because it was so big.
Yeah.
It was deeply emotional on a lot of levels. So emotional for, like, Lily dying and, you know, like, her grief, because she still has to live. She remembers her last life. So, like, her parents are there. She misses her brothers, stuff like that. So, like, her grief. She's just a soul in the afterlife. So, like, there are still things she wants to do in reincarnation that she's never gotten to do. There's a big chunk of the story is, like, a yearning for motherhood, which is not something I've ever identified with. And so for me, I'm like, I get it. You want to have a baby, but you can't because you are a soul and you have to reincarnate. Like, you don't even have a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I think there were a lot of deeply personal things that the author worked out in the book.
I say, sounds like she's processing some shit.
Yes. And when I saw Danielle L. Jensen last month, she had said that oftentimes the really vulnerable things that you see in a character are a reflection of vulnerable things from the author. And then when people pick those vulnerable things apart, authors are like, fuck you too.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I mean, you write what you know, you know?
Yeah.
So.
That's the age-old saying, right? Does art imitate life or does life imitate art? So there were a lot of deeply personal things, but I think for her it was like a healing of religious trauma to sit and write this. And it was a fun read. I didn't need them to go to war for months at a time. There were too many plot lines.
Yeah.
And the way that things wrapped up in the book was kind of just like, oh, okay. And there are more books. There are supposed to be more books because it says Hell's Bells #1. So I'm assuming there's more characters to explore, more character dynamics. But you could read this as a standalone with no other book ever coming out, and you'd probably be completely satisfied with the way that it ends. So 3.5 stars.
That's good. If I'm going to start an unfinished series, that's what I want to hear, to be honest, because otherwise it's like, oh my God, I'm frothing at the mouth for this second book that may or may not ever be even published. So
yeah, the audiobook was really well narrated. Nice. They found a male voice actor. Belle is described because they meet in a chat in a video game, and Belle's described as having like an incredibly deep and attractive voice. And so they found a voice actor that has an incredibly deep and attractive voice. So
Nice.
I like when there are choices like that.
Yeah.
There are cringy millennial references. There's just like cringy millennial. Like at one point, one of them calls Sharky like Sharkle-doodle-doo. And I was like, unnecessary. But those are nitpicky things.
Listen, speaking for millennials, sometimes we just can't help ourselves.
No, for sure.
We can't.
I know.
I will never stop saying adulting. I'll probably never stop saying I did a thing. Calling them puppers, doggos.
I call them puppers more than doggos.
Yeah. It's just, it's whimsy.
Yeah, to be cringe is to be free.
Exactly. And I won't apologize for that.
I cringe, therefore I am. So, yeah, 3.5 stars for that one. It is a really cute book. It is really long. Just know that going into it. There's a lot of different plot lines. Those are the books I finished.
Nice. I have
One more that you finished.
one more, yeah. You have books you started, and I have books that are on my TBR that I just didn't get to this month that I can touch on a little bit.
Cool.
The last book I read was Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. I love Maureen Johnson. I don't read a lot of YA, but I really love her. She's known for the Truly Devious series, which is a YA mystery. I would say, I don't want to say this one was better. The like mystery solving probably wasn't as good, because Truly Devious is very much like Sherlock Holmes shit. Like the person is good at it and is like, the main character is good at it and is like noticing small things and piecing things together, and you're doing that alongside her. Whereas this one I enjoyed more because the main character was funny and was just like kind of bumbling through life and doing her best, and kind of fell into this and was solving a mystery on accident type of thing. Which I enjoy. It's kind of in line with that vigilante who's really bad at being a vigilante.
Yes, I love that
thing I like. But yeah, she was really funny. It's also real gay, so happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Hi, gay.
Yeah, which all of Maureen Johnson's books are. I will say the Truly Devious ones are one of those ones, I've made this comment before, it's like, and this person who is non-binary, which means they don't identify as either gender, and they are a they, them, and I am friends with them. Like, the Truly Devious is a lot of that.
Where it's like that gay character's whole arc is just being gay.
Yeah. Whereas this one, it's a lot more, it's just, I happen to date girls. It's a lot more fluid like that, which I appreciate.
We're normalizing it more.
That's on growth, Maureen. I see you. Because that's like my one critique of the Truly Devious, where I'm like, okay, we get it. She has a diverse queer friend group. Congratulations. In this one, we follow Marlo, who has had just the teen summer from hell. She finally lands the girl that she's been literally obsessed with for years on end. Goes on a date because she has a gift card to the Cheesecake Factory from her parents. And
love that.
She's also house sitting for her parents' friends. So the date goes well. She's like, I have this house that I have access to, and like she bought this candle that's like her favorite scent and was like so excited about it, like set it up where like she lit the candle and opened the window so the breeze would blow the scent everywhere, and just like really went all out. And they're like, she's making out with the girl of her dreams finally, and is like, I'm ascending into heavens. There's just an orange glow. Wait, the orange glow is coming with the smell of smoke and crackling embers. Oh my God, the house is on fire. She's like, I want to say I sprung into action and was the hero. I was not. The house is gone, and I'm so embarrassed. Everyone in town is talking about it. Like, I cannot show my face.
I love a book that plays on the humor that is real life.
Yes.
Because none of us are those heroic FMCs
Yeah.
at all.
Exactly. And so one of her teachers is like, hey, I have this friend who's doing research on this island in one of the 1,000 islands in upstate New York, which I think Yeah.
Sure.
Where Thousand Island dressing comes from, literally.
Yeah.
And it's doing historical research at this super old house that was owned by this wealthy family in the 30s. And the family had a tragedy there where 2 kids died like within 24 hours.
Oh, no.
And they just never went back, and the house has been sealed up. And so she's like going through records, and they're opening it up for one summer for tours, and they're down a tour guide. You go, you stay there, you're fed, you're paid. You're not in town where people are talking about how you're a pyro. She's like, yes.
Done.
Sign me up. Because she's also like has a weird thing where the girl she went on a date with is like, so, because they work together. She's like, so I saw Cheesecake Factory was hiring when I was there, and like the tips are better, so I'm quitting. And so she's like, oh, that means you're dumping me. So just insult to injury. And so she goes there. There's this old mystery that's thought like one kid drowned, one kid who found the body of the kid jumped off the roof and killed herself from grief. Or was drunk and had an accident as she was like trying to like drink away her grief.
Yikes.
Modern day, the friend group of the other tour guides, one of their friends had just died from falling off like a rocky cliff at a prom after party. They're like, we don't understand. Like, we're all so familiar with the water and the area and the islands and what to be careful around. And but I guess like maybe he was drunk, maybe he was high. And then someone goes missing on the island. And so then Marlowe kind of sort of accidentally ends up solving 4 murders over this summer.
Great.
Yeah.
Marlowe's like, what on earth is happening in the House of Commons?
Exactly.
And then goes on to find what on earth is happening in the House of Commons.
She does.
Good for Marlowe.
Yeah, truly. And so I gave it 5 stars because I just had fun. It was fun. It was cute.
Sometimes 5 stars is for the vibes.
It is. My one critique is sometimes mysteries don't kind of lead you to the answer. It's just like suddenly here's the answer. Where, you know, like where you're like, who done it? And then suddenly the bad guy just breaks and is like, I did it. And you're like, well, you didn't solve anything. You were just told what happened.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of that, especially with the historical situation. It's a little bit more Knives Out with the modern day ones.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that would be my only sort of critique.
Is that like, you're told rather than shown. You're not actually solving it fully alongside her because it's just revealed.
Exactly, yeah. And it bounces back and forth from Marlowe in modern day to multiple POV of the rich kids in olden times. And I love, one of my favorite types of books is mystery, where like someone in the modern day has something mysterious going on, but it connects to this old mystery. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And that's that. 5 stars.
Okay. I started 4 books.
So you have books you started. I have books, we'll call it books I wanted to start but didn't get to.
And then I want to tell you about some book releases that are coming out in July.
I also have book releases in July. Okay. I took a second to think about that, which I rarely do. I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too. Also, you saw it on my template. You were like, wait a second. What do I know that's coming out in July?
Accurate.
Okay, I can get through these quickly, hopefully. So I might have talked about this one in May. I haven't finished it yet. It's called Dinosaurs at the Dinner Party by Edward Dolnick. It is about the discovery of dinosaur fossils in the 1800s by like Victorian England people. But one of my favorite things that the book has covered time and time again is taking a mirror to the world that we live in now and what we know with science and technology and history versus what people thought in the 1800s. Because it never occurred to me, we've always lived in this world where dinosaur fossils are real.
Right.
I learned about radioactive carbon dating in the 3rd grade, you know, and that's how we tell how old trees are and how old fossils are and stuff like that. People in the 1800s did not have that. When they were discovering dinosaur bones, they thought they were elephant bones. They thought they were giant bones because there were reports from kings and queens in other countries that there were giants walking around. Just so many things. They had no clue. And to put it all together must have been astounding for them. And so we were talking just before we hit record how you said, as a religious person or as a person who is growing into religion, whatever, also a science major, the more you learn scientifically, it brings you closer to God. And reading this book, I love that perspective so much because the scientists of the 1800s were clergymen. They were religious men who were looking to explain people on earth and God's presence on earth. And so much of it is about the gratitude of the world that we live in and the amazement of the world that we live in. These men called themselves naturalists.
Just the way things had to come together in such a specific, perfect way where if, like, the tiniest, like, an atom was different, like, we just wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
You just can't tell me that's not magic. Like,
It's absolutely magic. I'm not a religious person. I will agree with you 100% on that. It's magic.
You can call it whatever you want, but I'm like, I just could never believe in nothing
I could never believe that it is all completely a fucking coincidence.
And random. Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
It's all too meticulous.
It's so cool.
And so that is a lot of what people in the 1800s, because everything was religion based, would talk about, is that everything is so meticulous.
Monks discovered evolution. Like, or not evolution, genealogy? No. Oh my fucking God, with the pea plants. Applesauce brain.
The Punnett Square?
Yeah.
Which is genealogy, genetics.
Oh my God, hold on. God damn it, this is pissing me off. I literally taught a unit on this, and I'm stupid.
You literally have a master's in biology.
Literally. Pea plant genetics guy. Gregor Mendel, an Austrian monk. Heredity! Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God.
I didn't remember the word either. Again, this was another opportunity when somebody is screaming into their steering wheel at us right now. But scientists were men of faith. And
the church funded shit like this.
Yes.
Ironically.
Which Oxford, you walk through Oxford, is all of those colleges used to be
Christ Church College. Like,
yes. Which is incredible to me. But what we now would call scientists, what one naturalist would say is that, like, humans and Earth, because of Galileo, they did know that there was other planets out there, but Earth was God's favorite because water does need to fall from the sky, but it could fall in waterfalls instead of in a light shower. Just really beautiful appreciation for being connected to the earth. And then the discovery of dinosaurs, there was no denying it to them. They were just like, holy shit.
What is this?
What is this? And how amazing is it that God put this here?
Exactly.
That there were these giant lizards that roamed the earth before we got here.
Seriously.
And what mysteries is God waiting for us to uncover? And so it's been a really fun way to kind of look at the discovery of dinosaurs as a person who's not religious, but you know, and I know, we live in this world now where there are people of religion who like deny the existence of dinosaurs.
Who literally say the devil put them there to make you question creationism.
But when
originally it was a wonder of God.
It was a wonder of God. Yeah. And so I think it's a fun way of like reclaiming science and religion together in that they can coexist together 100%. And they should coexist together. I don't think someone's religious beliefs should negate actual factual science. And instead, the further you get into science, it should bring you closer to your religion because of the creationism that you believe in. So it's been very fun. I'm 65% of the way through it. We're getting up into like the mid 1800s now with the discovery of more dinosaurs in different eras and stuff. And it is a very fun read. And the audiobook narrator for it does a really good job. It's not a slog. It is absolutely fun. I've just been busy and reading other things.
Fair enough. One book I have had on my TBR forever, another one that was on Libby on sale, and I was like, sounds cool.
Libby's sale?
not Libby. God damn it. I keep calling Libro FM Libby.
Oh, got it,
I
got
do
it.
that all the time. But it's called God Killer by Hannah Kaner, which sounds just like the most classic fantasy novel of like an assassin who kills gods, has to kill a god, but the god is hard to kill. We're going on a mission. Which I haven't read a book like that in a really long time.
We're going on a bear hunt. It feels like if a D&D D&D got turned into.
Kinda. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. So I'm excited for that one.
I started Chain Gang All-Stars by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah.
Say the name again, the title of the book.
Chain Gang All-Stars.
Okay.
This book is going to fuck me up so bad. I'm 75 pages into it, already the rage that I feel. The author is drawing in this fantasy world, pulling directly from the U.S. Constitution. I
haven't read Blood Over Brighthaven because I'm just not in a place where I can be.
This book is going to fuck me up more than Blood Over Brighthaven. I'm almost positive. I would put it in the same category of like plucking things directly from
modern day
the world that we live in.
Yeah.
Chain Gang All-Stars is about turning people who have been convicted of murder and are in prison on life sentences. They can sign up to be modern day gladiators and fight against other people who have also signed up for this to the death.
Did you talk about this? I've heard about this.
We've maybe talked about it. It came out 2 years ago. It's been on the TikToks. It's been on,
okay, I might have seen it on
especially
TikTok.
After Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance. It got brought up a lot because it talks about almost every character who's in the prison system so far that I've experienced is a Black person.
Yeah.
So you can sign up for this to be a Chain Gang All-Star, to be a link in the chain where you fight gladiator style to the death. If you survive 3 years, you get your freedom. You get your life sentence basically erased. And they broadcast it. People subscribe to get all of the things, like a football network. Their lives are completely filmed 100% of the time. For content. It's like a Big Brother thing.
Yeah.
Like autonomous cameras, like drone cameras follow them around. The matches are filmed. It's to the death. So you either die or don't. And if you can survive 3 years, you can leave. People, there's a fan base out of it. People get tattoos to like same tattoos as like their favorite Chain Gang All-Stars.
You can't see my face, but I'm making a very grossed out face right now.
I'm only 75 pages into it currently. The amount of foreshadowing that I have seen to where I'm like, nope.
It's kind of giving Hunger Games.
I think some people do call it like the new American Hunger Games.
Yeah.
I do think that this book will be a modern classic. And I do think that this book, it obviously has a lot of social commentary already in 75 pages about
prison reform.
The way we've talked about it before with Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Racial injustice.
The racial injustice, but the way you can see that people, you can draw a direct line from like things have not actually changed. We have just put a Band-Aid on the situation, or we have built this entire structure on a crumbling foundation of white supremacy. And so I did not realize, did you realize, the 13th Amendment as written, which is the freedom of enslaved people, is that enslaved people can no longer be enslaved or indentured servitude unless
they're in prison. I'm shocked you didn't know that. You have to watch the
not know that.
documentary. I think it's 13th. I think it's on Netflix, or I watched it on Netflix years ago. Made my husband watch it, who grew up conservative, in my process of indoctrinating him.
Yep.
Fucked me up.
I didn't know that. Like that was not fully divulged to me, and I have not spent time studying the Constitution as much maybe as I should have.
Well, I didn't know that till I was an adult. Yeah.
So like plucked boop right out of the Constitution there in the book of like how the American prison system can get away with it. Anyway, this book is going to fuck me up real good. I think it is going to go down as a modern day classic. Right now, there are multiple POVs, and you are warned about that. So I picked up a paperback copy of it, like a used one, so that way I can kind of physically track who I am.
Okay.
And I can like reference back really easily. But yeah, Babe Book Club's July 11th. You might want to.
Is that what we're reading?
This is what we're reading for Community Book Club. Is Chain Gang All Stars. You might want to, maybe.
I think I put it on my TBR because when you shared that in the book club group chat, I was like, "Ooh, sounds interesting."
Yeah.
That's gonna fuck me up, and now I feel like I have to.
I've continued to suggest it because I'm like, this book is gonna fuck me up. I'm gonna have a lot of feelings about this book, and I feel like book club is the right place to do that. But also maybe that there might be people in our book club who.
That'll be the day after we see Kendrick Lamar.
It will be the day after we see Kendrick Lamar.
I'm fired up. I'm so goddamn motherfucking excited for that. You have no idea.
Okay. I have 2 other books that I started. Tell me books that are on your TBR.
The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo.
Yes, that book is always on my TBR.
I've never read anything by Leigh Bardugo, but I've only heard amazing things. I don't even know if I could really tell you what this is about. I think it's Spanish Inquisition. Someone has powers. There's wealthy people who like.
I don't even give a fuck.
Explore those powers. A person who wants to burn her at the stake. I think
I read The Ninth House and Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, and which is not even like her like most famous body of works. And I was like, am I a gothic academia? Am I a dark academia girl? Am I gothic girl? But people love like Six of Crows and Nope, that's something else. But there's another one that goes with it. Twisted Kingdom. Six of Crows is Leigh Bardugo. That's Leigh Bardugo.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep. Six of Crows. So that is also on my TBR.
Nice.
Love that.
So I was like,
speaking of Leigh Bardugo, here's an email I got from her. It's not from her personally. It's her Substack. It's her Substack. But something fun that she's doing with her Substack is she's uploading voice memos to it. It's called, like, on Substack, they call it a podcast. But she's like, voice memo number 2, not a podcast. Where it's just kind of like her, like, 30 minutes of rambling for whatever this update is. So, yeah, it's her celebrate 10 years of Six of Crows with me.
Oh,
it's been out for 10 years.
Nice. Yeah, I think I just typed her name into Libby, and I actually mean Libby this time, and put a bunch of holds on, and this is what came up. And I'm going on a cruise next week, so that and the next book on my TBR is probably what I'll listen to.
I started The Girlfriend Agreement by Rowan Croft. I got an arc of it. Very excited about it. It's a grumpy sunshine. The girl is grumpy. The guy is sunshine. He is a Nepo baby. Billionaire fucking around in college. His parents are basically threatening to cut him off if he does not start taking shit seriously because there have been some scandals. And the female main character, Lexi, is in this very affluent town, got a full ride scholarship because she's incredibly smart to this college. And they have had an interaction in the past that was not favorable. They slept together, but afterwards, shit did not. I don't want to spoil it. But basically, Lexi winds up needing a large sum of money, and he wants his parents to take him seriously. So he's like, what if I get a fake girlfriend for 9 months and I pay her $10,000 a month? He puts an ad on Craigslist. His family owns a pharmaceutical company. And so Lexi gets some news that she's going to need a large sum of money every month to pay for cancer treatment for her mom. And so Lexi goes looking on Craigslist for a job and sees this fake girlfriend, $10,000 a month. They meet in the park and they're like, you. But she needs money, so she agrees to do it. It's really cute so far.
Love fake dating.
I love a fake dating. I love a loathing to lover. She absolutely fucking hates him.
Nice. Love
because
it.
he embarrassed her. And there's so much like banter and tension, and he falls first, and I'm really looking forward to finishing the arc. That book comes out on July 29th, so look out for that one.
Nice. So that's kind of a started / July.
Started / comes out in July.
The other book I'll read on the cruise is When They Call You a Terrorist. So the blurb is a poetic and powerful memoir about what it means to be a Black woman in America and the co-founding of a movement that demands justice for all in the land of the free. It's a Black Lives Matter memoir. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've been delaying it on Libby for quite a while because I kind of overdid it on
The Holds.
Well, I kind of overdid it on like The World is Terrible books for a second, and I needed to take a step back.
Yep.
And so I feel like this is a good gateway back into that. I also really need to finish Let This Radicalize You because that one was very like
I need to start that one.
Tangible things you can do to get involved in community aid, which is
if
productive.
If you want a book by a similar author who was involved in the like founding and like reporting on Black Lives Matter and the movement in Ferguson, the book called On the Other Side of Freedom by DeRay McKenson,
it's on my TBR, I believe,
is really good. That one is a really short read. The audiobook's only 4 hours, so like the book itself is really short. And that one goes through, it's called On the Other Side of Freedom, A Case for Hope. So it is more tangible things that you can do.
Yeah. That's what I like, is like this has been effective. Like I love seeing TikToks that are like, I used to be MAGA and this is what changed my mind. And it's not people yelling facts at me. It's not people like doing XYZ, but like this moment of where like things were really shitty gave me doubt, and people found me at the right time where I was receptive to it, basically. And so I'm like, I
need to be prepared.
Right? Yeah. I'm like studying, which is like the opposite of what they all say to do. It's like no one gave me a super rehearsed conversation that they practiced for months of how to say it just right and just the right thing. It was just like the stars aligned, I guess. Yeah. But I mean, I have family who have been like, listen, our healthcare system's broken. I just don't understand how universal healthcare works, because I've been like, oh my God, the NHS, it's so wonderful. I just show up and then I walk out the door and ba. Anyways, books you're looking forward to being released in July.
Oh, this one is a book I'm looking forward to being released in July, but I also did get an arc of it, but I've only started a couple pages of it, called Thrill of the Chase by Catherine Nolan. I thought I would knock this one out really quick. I've been busy hosting. It is a sapphic National Treasure meets The Hating Game, where...
National Treasure?
Yeah.
It took me a second. Like, I thought you were saying, like, oh, she's a national treasure.
No.
No, you're talking about the movie.
The Nicolas Cage National Treasure.
Immediately adds to my TBR.
Yes. It is by representation. One of them is a reporter who's looking to break a story on, like, finding these lost diamonds. One of them is, like, a diamond hunter. And instead of competing with each other, they should just work together. But
because that's how women think.
They are snarky and bickering the whole time, and there's like this sexual chemistry between them. So it is National Treasure meets The Hating Game, but gayer and hot, is how the author describes it. That comes out on July 1st, and I am excited about that book. I do have an arc of it. Thank you, Catherine Nolan and Nat Galley. But so that's one book I'm excited about coming out in July. Tell me some of yours.
Oh my God. I don't know how I thought of this last. It's like the last on my list, but I'm moving it to the top. A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reid. Give It to Me Now. The second book in the Study of Drowning series, which was just such a beautiful book. I'm so excited. I have nothing else to say. I'm so excited. That's it. I mean, I have other books, but what book are you excited?
I have 2 Hermione fan fictions, which are being published traditionally.
Fun.
The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley, which initially was Draco Malfoy and the mortifying ordeal of being in love. And then Rose in Chains by Julie Soto, but I don't know what the original fic name was, but it was also a Hermione fic initially.
I love a Hermione fic.
I do know you love a Hermione fic, but I didn't realize The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy was a Hermione fic until recently, but I'm all in with that title. And the cover, so good. It's like They're scientists.
Love it.
The Hermione-esque character is a scientist. And yeah, anyway.
So fun.
Those come out in July. I am excited about those ones.
My next one is Under the Stars by Beatrice Williams. It's another mystery that's split between history and modern day.
Love.
Which is like all of the books I read this month. Love that shit. I think it comes out at the end of the month. Yeah, I've been on my mystery shit.
You're on your mystery era.
Yeah.
I am excited. Book 2 of The Jessed Heir is coming out, The Jessed Crown. You and I both read that book in 2023.
I
Oh, you didn't finish it.
I didn't like
Because it's slow up until about 70%.
it has that audiobook narrator who does basically any Middle Eastern female character.
I love her.
I didn't like the way she read it because I felt like she made the character like angry where I wouldn't have read it as angry. So
Fair
I think
enough.
it's something I need to read physically.
But book 2 comes out in July. Do you have another one? I have one more. and
One
then we can
more.
wrap.
Silver Cloak by L.K. and Lauren Steven.
I've seen good things about that one.
My Chemical Rosie talked about it, and
Yeah.
I trust her judgment for sure. But it's a fantasy series where magic is fueled by pleasure and pain. And My Chemical Rosie described it as like one faction focuses on the pleasure part. So like I think pleasure gives you more power. Pain like hones your power.
Oh.
And so there's two different factions that like put more energy into, one puts more energy into pleasure and one into pain. And I think
It's like brute force versus precision.
yeah, exactly. And so, and I think one person from each ends up, they're like probably working together. I think they end up falling in love.
Obviously.
Yeah. Have to. So I'm super interested in that. I love an interesting magic system. And
I love an interesting magic system. Yeah. I like that with fantasy, there are certain rules when it comes to magic, as though, like, the one we all know, magic comes at a price. Magic is not free. I do love that. Like, you can always count on that. And then, like, there's, like, the basic houses and, like, some basic rules of alchemy and things like that. But I was talking to my new neighbor yesterday about books, and she was like, I just don't really know much about, like, magic to read a fantasy book. And I was like, oh, don't worry about that, because an author will explain their magic to you. Yeah. There's some like basic rules of magic, but those also usually get explained, because the idea is that they're trying to branch out to readers across the board. And so if you can't build a good enough magic system to get your reader in with you, then it's not a good enough magic system. So, or like, it's not well thought out. So I was like, don't worry about that. The magic gets explained to you. You don't have to worry.
we're not all like we didn't all go to Hogwarts and understand magic.
Nobody, most people are not hanging out playing D&D multiple times a week, right? Like, it's fine. That's fine, babe. She also said, she was like, I like romance books, but not like romance books that like focus on the romance. I was like, oh, so books with like a romance subplot. Yeah. She was like, yeah, kind of. And then she picked up The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. She was like, I'm reading this book right now. I really like this book right now. And in my head, I'm like, that's a romance book with like an academia subplot.
Yeah.
You've got it twisted.
Yeah.
And she kept like describing things to me, and I'm like, you like contemporary romance, but you also like a background story where it's not just like straight to fucking.
Yeah.
Like,
you want to be wooed a little bit.
Yeah, she's trying to become a reader. She's trying to get other hobbies that are not staring at a video game screen.
Valid.
So
good for her.
Takes
a while to figure out what you like.
I was telling this to my husband last night. He's like, it sounds like you need to bring her along to book club. I'm like, one would need to read a book first to come to book club, but
that's part of it. Some people don't read the book.
Some
and just
people
come to drink.
Some people do not read the book.
I miss those days. I literally bought Costco margaritas last time I went to Costco. I already told you about this, but I didn't tell them. I was like, this is for like end of November when I am no longer pregnant.
Yeah.
And then I also saw on TikTok M&S has like canned Hugo Spritzes.
Yeah.
Which Hugo Spritz is my favorite alcoholic beverage.
We should get some of those in case they don't carry them through the summer.
Oh, girl, I grabbed 4 yesterday.
Okay, perfect. I was like, we should grab some of those and like store them for November.
Because I didn't want to get like a ton in case they're like not actually that good. But I'm like,
I should get some and test them for you and let you know.
Yeah,
we should do that.
Thank you. Take one for the team. Because fuck, I love a Hugo Spritz.
Oh no, I have to drink a Hugo?
Well, you know.
Oh no.
Morgan, who notoriously drinks all the time.
Right. No, but in terms of spritzes, I don't fucking come near me with an Aperol spritz.
Do not. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Propaganda I won't fall for.
Aperol spritzes.
Yeah. No. I don't even like the smell of it. They're gross.
Sour. Bitter.
Yeah, bitter is the word.
Terrible.
Yeah, nasty.
But a Hugo, because it has the elderflower and the simple syrup in it, so it's actually...
Elderflower? God, if I had never lived in Europe, I would not know I love elderflower.
Oh, that would be so sad.
Love elderflower. It's so good. If I see it on a cocktail menu, I'm like, that one.
That one?
That's what I want.
Okay, one last book for me. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, which is a follow-up book of A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. They are like cozy fantasy romance subplot books. But A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches was super cute, super cozy, a slower pace, but it was fine for the setting of it. And the Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping is a book set in a similar world. It has been pushed out. It was supposed to come out like last October, and it hasn't. But it is supposed to officially come out this July, and I am excited about it. And that was the last book that I was excited about coming out in July. And so we can wrap this up, this hour and 47 minutes.
Jeez Louise.
I've been over here for like 2 hours.
Yes.
I'm going to see V.E. Schwab tonight. I'm very excited about that.
Ooh. I read, I think I know a couple books by her, but I know I'm always afraid to because I'm like, I can't get obsessed with someone else. Like, I don't have that in me right now. And so I just had to like put her on a back burner.
My friend Ariana absolutely loves V.E. Schwab. I'm going to come at you with all the realism. I have never read fully a V.E. Schwab book before. I've tried with a couple books, and I just think I haven't been in the right place for the world building. This book that just launched last month, June 10th, or this month, last month when this airs, is called Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, and is about toxic lesbian vampires.
I have seen that pop up so much.
And basically it's like 3 different women through 3 different time periods, but they were all buried on top of each other, in a sense.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And it's kind of like their connection through history and each other. Vampires. That's literally all I know about the book. I haven't read the book yet, though, because the copy of the book that I'm going to get, I pick up tonight at the tour. And also it came out on the 10th, and I've been busy.
Yeah, very.
So I'm going to see V.E. Schwab. I asked my friend Ariana, I was like, do I buy these tickets and go? Even though I don't know much about V.E. Schwab, and I may or may not get the book read before the book tour happens. And she said, yes, absolutely. She is an incredible speaker about her process of creative writing, but she's also just really fun and a great person to go to a book talk for.
Nice.
So I was like, well, you're biased because you love V.E. Schwab, but I will try it out. So yeah, once we wrap this up, I'm going to head on down to the town where I'm seeing V.E. Schwab and go have a party.
There you go. Is Rosa going with you?
Yes.
Nice.
She is going to pop around the town. Well, we're going to hang out for a little bit, and then I'm going to go to the event, and then we're going to drive back.
Got it. I love friends that you can do shit like that with.
Yeah, she wants to go to the yarn store really badly because we found like a small business yarn store one of the last times we were there, and she wants to go back because they were so nice and so sweet, and she loved the yarn that they had. Okay.
Let's wrap up. You're going to have so much fun editing this.
I'm going to have so much fun. This is a 2-hour episode I get to edit.
And not even like a super funny one. Picking clips for this is going to be a bitch. I can think of one thing that you said that would be funny.
We'll find something.
We must have laughed. It'll be fine.
We must have laughed. And that's it for this episode of the Unhinged Smut Book Club. Thanks for listening, because this is our wrap-up episode. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Stevie. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode filled with chaos, kink, and questionable literary choices.
Until next time, keep it spicy.